and we fought every day. Every day we had a fight at that brig. It was like clockwork. All the way until we got up into Fallujah. We started pushing into Fallujah, house to house, because that's what we were doing. We just going house to house. We was taking it over. I lost more Marines after the war. Even when I got wounded, when my last tour in Iraq.
Panda 1-6, Panda 1-6. This is Badger 2-2. Come in, over.
Badger 2-2, this is Panda 1-6. Send traffic, over.
Roger, E4 Mafia is a go. I say again, E4 Mafia is a go.
Roger that, execute.
What's up, brother?
Oh. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the E4 Mafia Podcast. We have another exciting guest. We have Gunnery Sergeant Gomes. Before we get into the introduction, brother, we've got a gift for you. It's another little shirt. Oh, it's our green shirt. You want to check it out?
Appreciate it.
You can lay it wherever you want to after you're done, but it's the merch. And then when the challenge coins come in, I know how to get in touch with you, and we can go from there. I'll get you that. So, Gunnery Sergeant Gomes, man, tell us a little about yourself.
My name is Patrick Gomes. Grew up in New York City. Joined the Marine Corps right at 17. Did 22 years. Retired as a gunnery sergeant. And was bored after a while, so I got into law enforcement. So that's what I'm pretty much doing now.
So you're in law enforcement now?
Yes.
Gotcha. And it looks like there might have been some missed history between you and my brother with the 2-2.
Yeah, he missed it by frog hair.
Yeah,
Frog hair,
couple
yeah.
weeks or so, something like
Yeah,
that. Maybe.
it was really close.
Yeah. I remember you mentioned Estes, that name.
Yeah.
I remember that. But again, I was a boot when you were leaving, so everything was hectic my first few weeks. So I don't remember much.
I know how 2-2 was, and ain't nothing changed. So
Yeah, it didn't change.
So what'd you start up as? Whenever you first got into the Marine Corps, what was your MOS?
when I first started, infantry guy, I started as an 0352. It's kind of funny. I was in Charlie Company, and I was going to actually be an 0311. And being 17, we're all young. They needed tow gunners, and you had to have one thing to be a tow gunner. Now the driver's license. They're like, who got driver's license? I had a driver's license. All right, you're going to Alpha Company. You're going to be a tow gunner. So that's what pretty much happened. I ended up going to tows.
So for those that don't know what a 0352 is, can you explain?
0352 is a anti-tank gunner. Basically, you operate a tow missile. Most of the time, you're part of a cat platoon and stuff like that. So,
And what year did you go in?
I went in 1994. I joined the delayed entry program in July 1993, and I did a year in the delayed entry program, and I went to boot camp July 5th, 1994.
And when did you get out?
I retired, but actually my retirement date was September 30th, 2015, but I got out sometime in May. I had, all the annual leave and all the other stuff tacked on, so
Yeah.
I had a nice little break in between before that and actually my actual retirement date.
Gotcha. And then you said that you were an SOI instructor.
Yes.
What years were that?
SOI, 98 to 2000.
Okay. What was that like?
I went back. It was good. It was very time consuming. You got the grunt, so you already know how the rigorous. So it was back to back. Summertime is when you got a lot of breaks. The classes started slowing down, but it was nonstop. I started off in the weapons package, teacher 52. I moved over back to Charlie Company, where I became a line instructor for the 0311 side, and actually picked up the MOS of 0311 by doing that. And they pretty much you sat through a cycle, and then you picked up the MOS from OJT, and then you started teaching.
Yeah.
I went back that I taught there. It was a good time. Times changed from when I was there. We were still. It was like attrition was the key.
Yeah.
Type deal. Like, hey, you ain't gonna hack it. We tried to get rid of you. I know I got a little bit, I'm not gonna say easier, but a little bit more, hey, we're gonna make sure you get through it kind of deal. And, as
Gotcha.
time went on. So
What was your favorite thing about being an instructor in SOI?
Like any type of instructor, you see what you start with and what you finish with.
Right.
that was some of the greatest things, seeing some, especially when the ones you had some of your knuckleheads, and you see them actually pull it together and actually graduate, and then move on into the fleet.
Gotcha. What rank were you whenever you became
A sergeant.
You
I
were
went
a
over
sergeant?
there. Went over as a sergeant. Yep. I was over there. Picked up sergeant, and I was sergeant there the whole time until I left there. I got promoted on recruiting duty to staff sergeant.
Yeah, and we'll get into the recruiting duty. How hectic that was. Did you do any deployments prior to going to SOI?
Oh yeah. So my first deployment at the boot, I was on a mule. We went and we did Strong Resolve 95. We went out.
Damn, bro, I wasn't even born yet, bro. Gunny, you old dog.
Hey, don't let me walk out on you. We did strong. We got on the boat. We went up. Regular med flow. We went to Spain, Rota. We went to Naples, Italy, and then the nicest part we went to Norway.
I know what Norway's like. Yeah.
Trondheim. We pulled into Trondheim, Norway. A young 18-year-old.
Trondheim's the stuff.
We cracked the hull, and so we got dry docked for almost 10 days. So we had 10 days of liberty in Norway. So if you've been in Norway, it was
You know it. Yeah, it's a good time.
It was a good time.
So then after that, you went on recruiting duty.
Yeah, after SOI, I went on recruiting duty.
Where were you at?
New York, back home. It was,
And what year was this?
2000, beginning to, I went to school. I graduated recruiter school, I want to say September of 2000.
And so I know we talked offline, but you were actually in New York for 9/11.
Yep.
So can you talk a little bit about that?
A year later, it was crazy because, like I said, we talked offline. It was hectic for everybody. I lived in Brooklyn, right over the bridge, and I used to take the Manhattan Tunnel and take up the West Side Highway, which drives past the towers every morning. And just like any other morning, I drove by it, and as I'm coming up and pulling into the Bronx, my NCIC called me, "Hey, where you at?" I'm getting ready to pull in. I say, hey, "We're under attack." I'm like, plane just hit the track. I said, "Bullshit." I just drove by them.
Yeah.
And as I was coming up the stairs, the TV was on. We see that the plane impacted. And, the phones were ringing. Everybody's calling, "Hey, I'll get out of uniform," consolidating to one station. So on recruiting duty, you got your main RS, then you got your RSSs, you got your PCSs throughout the different sections that you were in. So they basically made us all consolidate. My team up in the Bronx, they made us all consolidate in one station. Hey, get out of uniform for right now, figure out what's going on. The first few days after that, we like, "Hey, we're Marine. We got camis. We're down there, helping." And then she was like, "Hey, that's not our job right now." And get back out there and recruit. And shoot, if I could put in everybody that came to that office, after that's one time I could say you've seen the patriotism within the people. I'm talking about, we had old Vietnam vets come back. We had people, I got multiple felonies, but I don't care. They attack my city. I want to get in.
Yeah.
I could, if I could put everybody that walked in, I would have put in over 200 people in a month. The amount of people that were coming into the office that say, "Hey, I'm ready to go." So that really showed the patriotism of, it probably happened all over the nation, but definitely of New Yorkers.
Yeah, I think with that big of a impact on the country, it really brought us all together. Knowing what we know now, it's obviously becomes a little more political as to why we do certain things. But at the time, those big nationwide attacks or something like that, you really see the country come together.
Oh yeah,
there's no like, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, liberal, conservative, whatever. It's just, we're American, and somebody messed with us, and we need to
deal with it.
We need to deal with it. So I think that's amazing how that went, and you got to see it firsthand. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
What was it like after the fact? Was there a lot of how long did that smoke last from the buildings coming down?
It was forever. Like I said, they were in my skyline in Brooklyn. That smoke was weeks. It was there. I looked at it all the time, and it's only good thing. I can't even say it's not even really a good thing. But when I had to go to work, like I said, living in Brooklyn and working in the Bronx, that drive sometimes was hectic.
Yeah.
But they shut down the tunnels and the bridges pretty much. Nothing but police and government vehicles. So I was able to fly. There was no vehicles out there. For like almost 2 weeks after, no vehicle could drive in that area unless you had a government vehicle or you were law enforcement. So it just made my commute to work easier. But the work did not change. Work was constant. So.
Yeah, that's great. And then after recruiting duty, what unit were you go to?
I ran out of recruiting duty.
Oh yeah, that bad?
Yeah. Oh, so it was funny. CEO was trying to get me saved. By that time, I was already working. I was out of the Bronx. I was in Brooklyn. When I was leaving out, CEO was like, "Hey, you sure you don't want to stay?" Blah blah blah. This and that. I said, "No. You're going straight to us. I take my chances." And the war recruiting duty was its own little monster. You know? They what they call it 36 individual months of combat. It starts over. But when I left recruiting duty, I went straight, got over there, I checked in. Second Marine, I got sent to Victor 38 Kilo Company.
Okay. And then what was that like with the 3-8?
It was cool. 38 was gearing up. They were gearing up to go to Iraq. And then, as always, the mission changed. It went up. They went from gearing up to go to Iraq, and they end up going to Haiti. That's when Haiti kicked off again. That was early 2003. Towards the end of 2000. Yeah, early 2003 is when Haiti kicked up again.
Yeah. Okay.
And so 38 ended up going to Haiti.
What was Haiti like?
Haiti?
Haiti? I ain't never been to Haiti.
It was volatile. No real firefight. It was there more as a peacekeeping and humanitarian service. Even though it was considered combat deployment, but it was really more peacekeeping, humanitarian services type thing.
I'm sure it feels good to help people out. You know?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then when did you go to 2-2?
So when we came back from 3-8, and usually you stay with a unit for 3 years. Came back from 3-8. 2-2 was getting ready to pump out, and it was short staff NCOs, and they asked for volunteers, and me being who I be like.
Oh, so you were a staff sergeant now?
Yeah, I was already a staff sergeant. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go back on recruiting duty. I got meritoriously promoted and selected at the same time. Okay. In other words, I was good. My numbers were good. I got the meritorious promotion, but I also got selected. So I took the selection instead of the meritorious because of one day can throw you off by years when it comes to promotion to the next rank. So my promotion date for selection was November 1st. My meritorious date was November 2nd. So I say, hey, I'm going to take the first. So this way, if I do come around, I hit the board for Gunny, so on and so forth. But like I said in my book, it shows that they when they give me my fit rep, they put that in there, hey, was selected for meritorious promotion, took a regular promotion because I got regular selected at the same time. So kind of worked that way.
So far as recruiting, you said you had to go through a course? Or
you
class?
You go to recruiting school down in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I just thought they just, as a B billet, they just threw you in there.
No. You just like any other B billet you go to school. It's was it 6 or 8 weeks? I don't remember. Wow. But down at MCRD San Diego, which is a nice time.
What do they
in
teach
San Diego? It was nice.
Well, they actually they teach you. You almost get an associate's degree out of it. They got professional. They got San Diego State to come in. They probably changed the program now, but it's called professional selling skills. They basically teach you sales, communication, stuff like that, and then they teach you how to actually. That's the main portion of it, is the sales, communication portion of it, and basically talking to people. Yeah. And then the other portion is how to put packages together. All the paperwork involved, and how to do the waivers and all that other stuff to get people in.
Okay.
So.
I know we're gonna kind of backtrack pretty far, but what was it like for you to be like a boot going into the fleet? What was that like? Was it crazy? Was it crazier back then?
So a lot of our sergeant majors, first sergeants, and the Gunnies were all Vietnam vets. Yeah. So yeah. It was a little bit different. We still went to the gear locker. Got a problem? Let's go. Yeah. We still fought. Yeah. You did not mess with your NCOs, because whether you think you can whoop their ass or not, you wasn't just fighting one of them. Yeah. There's gonna be all of them. Yeah. So it was still pre-Mother of America. Mm-hmm. The hazing was then we it's statute of limitations. We used to take boots, and I was one of them. Yeah. And we'll tape them up in between mattresses, duct tape them between and drop them off the second and third deck. It's things I think about now, like I probably wasn't too smart, but it was good fun. Yeah. Unsafe, but it was good fun. Yeah. It was all hey, making sure that you're gonna be a part of the team, right? Type deal. Yeah. So
I know we've talked about it, but there was just some small regrets. We wish we would have handled things differently, knowing what we know now as far as leadership. Like, I'm sure now thinking back on it, taping dudes to mattresses probably isn't a good idea.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But those guys that went through that, I was never taped and thrown off on the second deck. I don't know if they would even get that. They'd kick my ass before that happened. So that'd be some scary stuff. But yeah, just like getting drunk, having to fight other people, and being messed with that way, room tossing.
So we were in SOI, and we got some leave, and we went up to Pope Air Force Base down there in Fayetteville, next to Fort Bragg. Went to their E Club, about 12 or 13 of us, and we get to fight with the airmen. Nigga, all the girls, oh, Marine, blah, blah. We in this big fight, MPs come, the duties that come and get us, we're getting trucked back in the van. And we get back, and we had to go see the Sergeant Major. Sergeant Major's pacing back, and he sits down. And can you curse?
Yeah.
Oh. He said, I got one fucking question. He said, yes, Sergeant Major. Did y'all win? Yes, Sergeant Major. Get the fuck out of my office. But that's how it was back then. Now,
now it's not like that.
Everybody going to the brig probably.
I talked about a lieutenant that I had. I'm not going to say his name still, but one of the best lieutenants. He was a gunny in reserves. He was recon in reserves, and then whenever all that stuff kicked off with 9/11, he became active and did his thing, and then eventually took the officer route from flat black to officer. And he used to tell us, like, nowadays the gate guards will stop you if you're drunk. But he was like, back in my day, if the cops were chasing you, you made it on the base, they had no jurisdiction. We tell them to go fuck off and be like, hey, you made it home, brother. Get home to safe. And they let you on the base, and the cops have to go screw off somewhere. And we wouldn't give them nothing.
I ain't gonna say I ever got chased by the cops back on base, but I knew once I got back on base,
he was good. Yeah,
he was good.
Nowadays, man, it's blue flag. It's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to hold your guys accountable. You shouldn't be drinking and driving, but
it's thing as you get older and you grow and you move up, you realize that probably wasn't the smartest things. And you just knock on wood and say, damn, I'm glad I made it through. So now, hopefully, you can guide somebody. Say, hey, yeah, we laugh about it, but hey, I won't recommend that.
So yeah, after backtracking, so then you eventually went to 2-2, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then you deployed to
Iraq,
and
back to back to back.
And my thing was, you were in the what was your first deployment like? What was the first one?
Oh, to Iraq. We talk about I've been through every phase other than the transition. So when we started out, the first initial push was, hey, we're getting in there, blah blah blah. We were still wearing the tricolor deserts.
Mm-hmm.
Came back, and then we took the boat over there with 2-2 that time. The first 2-2 deployment to Iraq was on the boat.
Yeah.
And we came back, started working up again, right back. And this time we was down in the Sunni Triangle. If you've been there, you know what the Sunni Triangle is all about. When we first got there, we was down in Mahmadiyah, Ludafia, and somewhere at the end. I can't remember the name. Nazariya. And so we went down there. We took over, fought out there. We ripped out an Army mech unit. So they had Bradleys and everything else down there. And our biggest threat was that time was the IEDs, because they were big, because they had them built for the armored vehicles. That second one where we spread out, and then there's a supply route that was coming from I want to say it was Syria, and it was Joffrey Sucker Bridge. And my platoon went out there and we secured that bridge. We held that bridge for a whole week. And we fought every day. Every day we had to fight at that bridge. It was like clockwork. We were ambushed several times. We took mortars. We see what they were mortars when we came around. Jumped in Humvees. Kind of like I was reacting. As we was pulling through, we got ambushed from a canal road out of a palm trees area. And the fighting was intense that whole week. It was April. I was out there, like I said, my anniversary was April 4th. And we took our first KIA, which was Sergeant Spear, April 7th.
Rest in peace.
They pulled us out. Damn. They pulled us out, and we got ripped by a whole company. And that's how bad it was. We were getting I'm not gonna say we held our own. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had a few guys go back for nothing really major, small shrapnel, minor stuff. And then we were pulling into the 5. That's when it came over the radio. We took our first KIA. And the whole rest of the battalion, that was 1st Platoon that took it. So the rest of the company and the battalion was rolling out as we were rolling in. And the platoon commander stopped, talking to CL, hey, I know it's been a hell of a week. Y'all guys ready? We said, we jumped back on. We're like, let's go. And CL like, no, you guys stay back at the QRF. So we sat there. I mean, it was crazy. And I said we were there when they brought his body back, and it just went on from there. And
I think that was it's a smart move to keep you guys back, to let you guys decompress from what you guys been through, but it's also a double-edged sword because now you have time to think.
Yeah, and that's what it was. We were sitting there thinking and waiting. After that, like I said, there was skirmishes, and that was pretty much for the whole month of April. In May is when they started moving us up to the Fallujah area. They pulled us up. We started hitting the outskirts of Fallujah. Some of the main MSRs, there's a Clover, and other stuff. So we were securing some of the main MSRs going into Fallujah. Same thing, taking ambushes, fighting every day. All the way until we got up into Fallujah. We started pushing into Fallujah.
So I know that you were part of the first initial push, right? And obviously that's one of the deadliest battles the Marine Corps has been a part of, and that was one of the craziest ones. I know this is going to probably be a harder story. It's already been a hard story, but I can only imagine what you went through throughout that whole time, like our deadliest battle and et cetera. So for those of you guys that don't know, again, first couple of units to push into Fallujah, it's our deadliest battle that we've been encountered thus far with the urban combat, stuff like that. One of the hardest battles. And if I'm not mistaken, the order is to go house to house.
Yep, and that's what we're doing. We were moving in. 2-2 was on the south end of the city, and we, like we usually do if you've been there for a while, we'll find a place. We found a big building. We took that building over.
Yeah.
That became a command post, and then and this is a battalion now operation, not just a company anymore. We started moving in. That's when we ended up taking, I want to say, our second or third KIA, which was Gunny Ball.
Rest in peace.
He was one of our head guys, 8 Ball. He was one of our head guys, and doing what Gunnies do sometimes, he wanted to give his guy a break, and he said, hey, I'm going to go man a machine gun. He got in the turret and took a mortar round to the chest. I mean, it's like, how did that happen? It's like the odds of that ever happening. But
that's a great leader, though.
Yeah.
To want to give you guys a break, that's somebody that you probably want to fall into battle with.
Every time.
So
yeah. And and that again took a toll. Then we pushed up on the south end. We started taking fighting fire from within the city, constantly firing back. And then, like I said, at that point, it was Wild Wild West. If you shot a bullet out of the building, we're leveling that. Whatever we have, we're putting into that building. We had one of our facts. Here's a funny story. Buster. Fact is a forward air controller. He's actually an aviator that's attached to the unit, and his name was call sign was Buster. And we were fighting, we were taking fire, so he's calling in. I want to say it was an A-10, called in a Warthog and a mix section, a Cobra and a Huey, and it came in, and we were taking fire from a mosque, and he cleared them hot, and all he country guys. I want to say he's from either Mississippi, Alabama, and all you can hear him say, "Drop bombs, dog." and every time them guys, the helos and the fixed wing came in, we literally stopped fighting, and it was like, yes, that was one thing over there. When tanks came around and air was in the air, they didn't want to play.
Yeah,
so they helped out a lot.
I mean, just a fuck you flyover can change the enemy's mindset.
Their whole mindset. They didn't like to play.
It is a good feeling too.
Yeah. I bet.
I remember the same. We didn't have A-10, but it was
whatever something come up, even if it's coming over the horizon, your helo coming over the horizon.
Yeah,
they didn't play games.
Yeah.
Then like I said, we started pushing in the city, and then politics took over. Now we're really frustrated. We're losing Marines. Not just getting wounded and everything. I lost another one of my mortarmen, and he got shot right through the elbow. So he went home, and so now here it is. We had the momentum. We're pushing it in the city, and hey, hold up. Stop. So now they pull out. General comes down, and so now we go from, hey, we're fighting, let's go talk. So we get up on now we're on a bunch of Amtraks, and we'll pull into the city. We're setting up security so that the general and whoever is in charge inside of the city, they're having peace talks or whatever. But that's what the people that's not out there fighting wanted. So we held back and blah blah blah. So we pulled back out, and we ripped. We stayed there. We was out there doing still security, still fights here and there. But then that's when we ripped with 1-8. And 1-8 was the one that really took brunt of the punishment from having to go back in. I always say is, when we talk about, hey, we're not giving up any ground. Yeah. We gave that ground up. It gave them time to completely reinforce. Yeah. And everything else. And
well, I mean, I figured when you first start that, you don't know what we're coming with, right? And now that you've been fighting for a while, now you kind of got a good understanding of the tactics and what we're doing. Maybe people know it but don't know. But we also dropped a bunch of letters, in Afghan, or in Fallujah and all the other major cities that, hey, you have X amount of days, and we kind of told them when we were going in. Yep. It was like, you need to be out by this day, and if you're not, then you're considered hostile.
That is another spooky thing too. The PSYOPs. We had a Army PSYOP unit attached to us. And they would drive around with these freaking supersized speakers on the top of their Humvees. Mm-hmm. And they'll play like death metal and freaking like, like they're slaughtering cats and stuff like that. And when you ask them, they say, really, it fucks with their mind. Mm-hmm. Like, I know, God, that shit was fucking with me. So,
yeah. But, it's got to be kind of hard too, especially during that phase where you're pushing into something that you don't know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then they tell you all right, now stop, back up. And like, you have to quickly change that mindset, that's got to almost mess with you. Like as far as them coming in, like what, cause you just went through all that and then they're like, all right, well now we need to have a peace talk. So I need y'all to kind of decompress.
To me, like, that's not a Marine Corps thing. Yeah. If you want it done and you want someone to be aggressive, the Marines are going in, but you can't pull the leash after you let them off. That makes zero sense to me. I
think the biggest thing, from my understanding, when you said that, is I think we kind of over accomplished, and that's what they were like. All right, let's back up a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what I think it is. But if you go back and just even look at all the history, especially with the Marine Corps. Yeah. When I heard some of the story, like I said, a lot of my senior guys were all Vietnam guys. So corporals and sergeants, they were all in Somalia, and they'll tell you that, hey, we went in and did what we were supposed to do. Yeah. They didn't stop it. We went in, kicked ass. Yeah. Then the Army came in and did what they did at Fallujah. Yeah. And gave them time to rebuild, and Mogadishu happened.
Right. I don't know if I so much blame the Army, but blaming the higher ups.
It's from when you have something, when you have a foothold on something, you don't give it back.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And it could, I know what you was about to say. It's more so on the leadership of higher ups. For sure. If you do have that ground, and you, like you're saying, you put your foot down on it, you need to keep it and don't slack off on it, and give them this opportunity to take it back or whatever it may be. Right.
Yeah. Or, get your ass from the office and come down here and clear a building with us, and then you can see. It's just that it just blows my mind that when I got out, man, I realized how expendable we are, and how the techniques that we were teaching, and they worked, obviously, right? They did work, but it wasn't knowing what I know now, what other techniques there are and other tactics. We could have probably did much safer, just as effective, instead of just rushing into a building.
We know, and even what we do now, we learn from prior things that we do prior, and we improve on what it is. So war fighting is constantly improving. It's always constantly improving. Fighting in general, even MMA, boxing, you learn something, and you learn something about your enemy or your opponent, and you take what you learn and you develop on it, and you find a way to overcome that, and then you move forward. But everything is always constantly rapidly changing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
As we get better, somebody else gets better. Yeah. I said where we have the advantage military-wise is the money and technology. Yeah. Yeah. Some of these people, if they had the money and technology we have, and I hate to say it, we'll get our ass kicked. Yeah. They've been fighting their whole lives. That's all they know is war.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, and I was going to kind of reiterate on that because, you know, Iraq was our first initial concept of house to house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're learning as you go, and of course the tier level guys, they that's what they practice a lot anyways.
Yeah.
So, you know, at that time I'm sure the ones who were in there with us, you know, they helped train some of us. But later on, that's why we learned advanced room clearing and stuff like that. You know, in battle and war, you know, it changes constantly. It doesn't matter what you're doing or what you train for. You know, it's going to change no matter what the situation may be.
For sure.
yeah, I don't know when you guys were in. So like you said, house to house, because that's what we were doing. We just going house to house. We was taking it over. Boom. As we did it, we marked it. It was the next one.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about it probably more when we move. But my second deployment, you know, Fallujah was kicked out, but everybody moved to the city next to Fallujah called Karma, and Karma became the shithole. And we went in Karma, but then, like you said, the tier guys came in and they taught us satellite patrolling and how we satellite patrolled and how we systematically did it. It wasn't just, hey, boom, we got this one, this one, this.
Yeah.
It was a systematic thing, and literally we were able to clear almost a whole city within a week.
Yeah.
Again, that just comes with, hey, we learned from this.
Yeah.
Let's move forward. So we went to the satellite patrolling, and that was, hey, this platoon, or depending on how big it was, this platoon got these 3 blocks, this platoon, and we moved as a group.
Yeah.
And a lot more communication involved, and it made things a lot safer. You know, it saved from, you know, blue and blue fighting, fire and everything else. So,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we learn from the biggest lessons we learn is from, unfortunately, is paying with blood, and that's going to be the biggest That's going to be the biggest lesson to anybody. But yeah, I think that all that has to happen, and eventually, and I think one of our mottos is adapt and overcome, and I think the Marine Corps does that the best. We may not like what we're doing, but you're like, we got to do it. All right, well, let's figure this out, and then as we go on, of course, we learn more. But what was your mindset when you guys were first told to start going house to house? I know there's some other outer city battles, but then what was your mind at whenever you were a platoon sergeant?
it's a little different when you're a platoon sergeant, because, you know, a lot of times you're not the first one through the door anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you're telling, hey, we're hitting this, where we're going to hit this place. Go ahead, go do what we got to do. You know, you're still going in, but you're not the first one through the door anymore. The mindset, I know my mindset was, I don't want nothing to happen to my Marines.
For sure.
Fortunately, but unfortunately, neither of my last 2 deployments, we didn't take any KIAs in my platoon. All other platoons did, and we did. And we did things differently. I don't want to say they were lazy. Like I said, IDs were bad, especially on the second one, not on the boat. The IDs were tremendous, and then we also had a sniper problem on the when I came back from the Fallujah, when we went back again. We lost 2 Marines to snipers, Sergeant Miles. We lost company commander, one of the lead corpsmen, all the IDs and all the other staff. So the IDs were bad. So me and my platoon commander got to look, we ain't driving. It's gonna suck for the Marines, but we ain't driving no more. So we only drove at night, blacked out, and during the day we only drove during the day if we really had to. So like you say, just come up with different things and different ways to make sure your Marines are safe on the leadership part of it. Marines are gonna do what you tell them. Especially once they trust you and stuff like that. They're going to do whatever you tell them to do. But you want to make it, we tried to figure out the safest way to do it.
Yeah, of course. So okay, second deployment. So you come back, work up for the second one. What's that like? And you said the city next to it was
Karma.
Okay.
This time we were in Fallujah proper. That was the fob that we stayed out of. And then we went down to, we ripped out we took a week. We had some OPs out there. Can't remember the name of the little camp that we had. We had a little Iraqi army base we took over that we had, and the same thing, fighting in the street every day. VBIDs. We took a VBID. Mortars every day, stuff like that. But we'll patrol out, like I said, we'll patrol out of Fallujah proper, go up in the Carmen. That's what we said. We started doing a lot of door-to-door. It got to the point that it was frustrating. I think I might have told you this story before. It was so frustrating. At one point, we're clearing out houses, and we clear out this one day, and this place was a big one. Some of the houses are really nice. And I was like, man, fuck this place. And the big silver chai teas that they brought out, there was one sitting in the middle of the floor. I was like, hey, man, I gotta take a shit. And I said, post security. I took a shit on that silver tray and left it there for him. And so we come back, and after a while, they let the people of Carmen. I felt bad afterwards because they weren't they weren't insurgents or nothing. There's actually people that they left out like they were supposed to. And then we're out there, the battalion commander like, I don't know why I got Marines shitting in people's houses. My platoon commander is nudging me, laughing like, "Will you stop or we get in trouble?" But it sucks to say, but that was frustration sinking in. It was trying. It's war takes a toll on you,
100%,
especially back to back to back. I lost more Marines after the war. Like I said, I didn't take any Ks while we were deployed, but I think at this point now, to include at my time my CO, he was a lieutenant colonel. When he took his life. And Donovan, Tarzan, there's about 6 or 7 that couldn't fight the demons off.
Yeah.
And
well, we lose more guys to afterwards.
Yeah.
Even more so mine. It didn't make sense to me at the beginning until I got out. My team leader killed himself. Mostly peacetime. I mean, I was in from 15 to 19, so wasn't no heroic stories for me, and I don't claim to be a hero, nothing like that, or to be salty, whatever the case is. But losing guys left and right, even when I lost my first team, my team leader was the first guy that that I was close with that took his life, and I was on my second deployment in Norway, which how fun Norway can be. But it just took a toll. The group chat that we had, somebody texted it. It's like, hey, Taylor's no longer with us. He killed himself. And to me, I was like, we don't have any like you said, we wasn't through combat back to back. But when you get out, it's still. We talked about it on the EAS mental health episode. It's still like you don't have a purpose anymore. Like you feel like no one cares about you, whatever the case is. But I know I regretted not reaching out to him, but at the time, it wasn't on my mind. Would it have helped? I don't know. I have zero clue. But that's a big problem. Even till now, it's still a big problem.
The transition coming back to, you want to say reality, basically.
Yeah.
It's not, everybody doesn't take it the same. I was there. I mean, I've been down the darkest hole, sorry.
You're good, man.
You're good.
But it took a lot. For those listening, if you feeling it, I learned what helped me talk about it now was I went and I sought help.
Yeah.
Because I almost lost everything.
Yeah.
I was consumed in the bottle. That was my way out. I felt that rock star lifestyle. Freaking, I'm hurting. I'm gonna get drunk. I'm gonna party my ass off. And that's what. Until like I said, until I realized, but damn, I'm about to lose it all. And I went got help. I went to treatment, sat down and spoke with somebody, and he said the biggest thing is most people hold it in and don't seek the treatment because that is we're weak or it's beneath us.
Yep.
Right.
And
especially as Marines.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was the biggest thing I was worried about. Damn. Here I am now is, I was already a gunny by the time I started getting treatment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, what if I did this a while ago? Would I have gone down that path if I did it right away? But my thing was, no, I need to get on that next deployment. I can't not. My biggest thing is even when I got wounded on my last tour in Iraq.
we ain't even got there yet, brother.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that too.
With my Marines not going out and I'm not going with them, like I had a problem. I would get up and I'll be in sweat, but I'll be sitting in COC listening. And that fucks with your mind. Knowing that, hey, all right, I got Sergeant Vincent. I was a good Marine, so he's now the platoon sergeant. And like platoon sergeant, we already lost our lieutenant. What did I say? Lost. He got wounded, he was medevac. He was out of it for a while. We lost one of our corpsmen. We call him unbreakable.
Corpsmen are
Most of them.
I don't know what it is, man. It's like we get hit with IED. He's the only one that wasn't freaking scared. He's going to work. We lost what's his name? Fallujah. He's a doctor now. He took shrapnel to the neck. I mean, I remember calling in. He was in the same Humvee as my platoon commander, and we're holding blood. I got a picture somewhere of it, and that whole Humvee. We're trying to help him. Doc is helping him, helping everybody else. I'm calling in, the air medevac, and he's pale to the face. I'm like, damn, I think we might lose him. 2 days later, hey, we was able to stop the bleeding. He was good. He's back home. He's a doctor now. But I know we have a little group, and he was out on the group talking crazy. And everybody was reaching out to him. We finally, somebody got a hold of him. And, family reached out, hey, he's good. We got him help. And just to show that now this man's a doctor.
Yeah.
With LSU law, medical school and everything. He went through the shit, came out. But that just shows no matter where you're at, you can still really go through it, is what I'm getting at. So.
Yeah.
I don't think that you should regret or be disappointed in the route that you did take, whether it be down the bottle. And I say that because you went through it. Not only can you talk to somebody about it in a deeper level because you've been there, but two, you're going to notice the signs faster than anybody else because you know what it looks like because you were there. The same thing, same kind of thing. Whenever you go to, if you are going to combat, if you have combat vet leadership, you're going to lean on them more because they've been there, done that. So it's a little easier for you to notice that and get, okay, this didn't help me. Let me try what really did help me and push them through that. If that don't help them, then we can figure something else out. And that's almost like it's just experience. And I just didn't want you to, I don't want you to feel bad about it.
Oh no, yeah.
That's why I don't really drink now either. And I used to drink when I first got out because that's what we did, on the barracks.
I still drink, but just now, it's not
controlled.
It's not to dull the pain. It's
casual. Hey,
we're having a good time. Let's have a few drinks and laugh.
Yeah.
It's more not okay. I need to be drunk, so I'm not feeling what I'm feeling. So that's what it is now.
That's why. Yeah, we talked about our mental health episode. The biggest thing is to keep pushing, keep your head up. Do use what the Marine Corps did teach you as. Keep pushing. Don't give up. If you're always constantly moving forward, something's good bound to happen. Sometimes you got to hit rock bottom for it to happen, but we adapt and we overcome. You can't lose that mentality, and a lot of the boys are still there for you. You just got to – we talked about the same thing too. I don't know how you feel about it, but if we are reaching out, you got to be willing to take the hand. We can only do so much. If you just keep shutting us out, we're going to keep reaching out, but we can't
be that much of a man to say, I don't need your help. If somebody gives you a hand and you need it,
yeah,
you gotta be man enough to say, yeah, I'm a man. I'm gonna take your hand because I do need your help. So
yeah, and especially as as infantry, especially in the Marine Corps, but infantry, Marine Corps, I'm sure it happens in the Army and whatnot too. But if you're hurt, suck it up. If you're not having a good day, suck it. That's what your whole life was for a little bit, and that's how you feel when you get out. And it's a problem. It's a problem. I'm not saying be soft and be cuddling.
No,
I'm just saying notice that this guy's mental isn't good. And one of the biggest things is before you deploy, your mental has to be good. Your family has to be good. And if it's not, because it's going to fuck with you overseas. And you can't have that.
Yeah. And like I said, it was kind of long. Again, Master Guns came and sat me down. Hey, you all right? That's their hike. I want to say it was a 15-mile or whatever. Come back, my feet are up, socks off. I got blisters. He said, you all right? What the BS? I'm like, nah, man. He pulled me to the side. I said, listen. I understand them days are over, man. You're getting older. You need to have to start. and now, older now, Marine Corps at 30, you're fucking old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I was like, I'm my late 20s, early 30s. Like, you're getting older. You need to start. Back in the days, you're a pussy. You're on a sick bay. You're a sick bay commander. You sucked it up. And again, as you get older and wiser, people start telling you things. Hey, you need to go get this looked at. Go get this. Go get it looked at. If I probably wouldn't have some of the problem I have now. With my back and everything else. But that's just being a Marine, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We kind of talked about that on our last episode as well, because I didn't. I'm just now going through the VA process of last year, and I got out in 2009, and so I still had that same mindset, you know, because I've lost friends, and then there's, you know, one guy who's a quadruple amputee and another one who's a double amputee, and then back in my mind, you know, I'm like, what do I need to go to the VA for? Because, you know, that's what these guys have it worse than I do. And then another thing was that I never reported it because, you know, that was our mindset.
Right. So now you're trying to backtrack and get it.
Yeah, you know, and then so that's what we kind of explained in the last episode. No matter what, you know, don't think that you're less of a man.
Yeah.
You know, report it, you know, and try to go through the proper channels of getting it on record, because, you know, the issue that I had, I never, you know, I reported it, but we never got it on record, essentially. You know, so
you see the corpsman, you even go to BS and get a document, corpsman come take care of you, give you some Motrin.
Yeah.
But that goes back to the same master Guns told me, hey, let me tell you something, because I was the same way. One of my best friends, we SOR instructors together, he's an amputee. Mm-hmm. First officer, he was a hard charger. They let him stay in. He retired with an amputee. I mean, he was a first sergeant, so it became more admin style. But I was the same way. Like, damn, I got wounded, but I got all my limbs, you know, and everything else. But he said, don't let them fool you. He said, there's enough to give out to every single service member, 100%.
Yeah.
They have that set aside to give so it's not like you're taking away from somebody who has, you know, more problems per se than you do. So I recommend, you know, going out there. I told my chief when I got here, I was in law enforcement, I told him, hey, what are you waiting on? He went and he went through the process. He's good now. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's not, you got to realize you're not taking away from somebody else. Yeah. You know, you earned it. You know, so you need to go get it. Whether monetary or not, it's the fact that once you get that rating, if something's wrong with you, you can always go to the VA or wherever they meet and get it taken care of. You know, so, you know, if you don't have the best insurance there is, you know, to go to the best doctor, the VA will take care of you. So whether you get a percentage or not, you just don't want to document it saying that, hey, this is a service-connected disability or service-connected problem, so that you can always, you know, get treated for it. Yeah. Because as the older you get, trust me. Yeah. It's gonna come like, damn, I wish I would have did this. Because there's days I get up and I'm like, it takes me 30 minutes to get ready. Yeah.
You know? I mean, you know, I know you're like 62 and I'm only 28, and some days I have problems. It takes, like you said, it takes me a while to get up out of bed. Mm-hmm. And the medication, I use it periodically because I don't need it every day. It's just, but it is, you know, periodically. But when I take that, it's a pill. My back stops hurting. Like, I can get up and start moving and functioning, and it's. I was like, I'm so glad I went. But I know we got a little bit off track. But that's it's a good off track. So after your second deployment, obviously a lot of stuff happened. You said the IEDs. When were you wounded? And what happened?
It was December. I think it was 16th. December 16th.
Or what deployment was it on?
It was my last deployment with 2-2. And that's what, like, that beginning, that was that's what pretty much, that was 06.
Yeah. So that was,
That's the one we came back, and then that's when I said, no, I'm going. And we're going on the mule. I'm like, no. And
luckily he didn't, because his store, they went back in.
But that's what he said. He said, we're back.
Yeah, we went back in,
So we did something. We had a mission we had to do, and like I said, we tried to avoid really driving, and then we had no choice. And just like us, the enemy adapted. We went down Route Angel, and it's certain things you don't forget. And we called the Angel of Death. Mm-hmm. We knew it was a canal road. We knew they lay because they were trying to blow you into the canal and stuff like that. And sure enough, we were going down the road. We were going. I want to say we were going to hit a target. On that deployment, because we were called a dynamic entry platoon. Second platoon, we were the guys that were all high value target. We got attached with SF a lot and stuff like that. So we did a lot of high value target hits. And so we were hitting houses a lot. Most of the time we were doing it during the night, but we had to go meet with somebody. and we were going down Route Angel. And sure enough, we get down there, and shit, that motherfucker set up a fucking roadblock. So now what do you got to do? Like, we got to turn around and like, hey, sir, this is bad. He's like, no, well, we ain't got no choice, you know. So we started backing up. We was able to find a little road. We was able to turn them down, turn around. Sure enough, we're heading back out. And as I'm in the rear vehicle, platoon commander in the front vehicle, and I'm pulling out, my world is just rocked. I wake up, I'm in the BAS. Well, I'm coming to. I'm in a Humvee. I'm already getting medevaced out. Me, my driver, 2 people in the back, and the gunner. We're all, we're all pretty much hurt. And they getting us out of there. And like I said, the biggest thing, I was able to stay in country, but I was still out for almost a month. Like I said, that was the hardest part. Was now my platoon's already short. My platoon commander already been hit. I'm now hit. I got a young sergeant who's really good, who's basically running the show.
Yeah.
And I can't even really heal properly. I go get my shots and shit every day. But I'm sitting in the COC, and the company goes, what are you doing here? Boys out. Go get some rest, and I'm good. And I sit there, I'm drinking coffee and shit, listening on the radio, and I'm tracking their movement the whole time. It's like, all right, it's like your dad. Hey, my kids are out. I need to make sure they come home before dark type deal. You know?
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing. Yeah, it was wounded, concussion, took some cuts and stuff. Like I said, it was nothing major to where, like I said, I didn't lose a limb or anything to where I had to go home.
I mean, you got hit with an IED, right?
Yeah.
I would call that major. Yeah. Like, you got fucking blown up, bro.
I guess that's, the Marine.
But yeah, I know what you're saying, but,
but
for the people that don't know what that's like, that's...
It rocked my world. Like I said, when I came to, I was already being medevaced.
Yeah.
But, the fact is you're more concerned about your guys than you are yourself.
For sure. That's the Marine Corps thing.
And I think that was the worst part of it. Wasn't the pain or anything else. The worst part of it is they're out there, and if something happens, I knew it, deep down myself I was going to blame myself because I wasn't there.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't do that. You know that? You can't do that.
Yeah, my squad leader, I don't know if he was there.
He was on the second deployment with us. 5E.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was on the second deployment with us.
Yeah, because he told me the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I noticed, I forgot, I think it was the ball or something like that. I don't remember, but I noticed the Purple Heart, and he told me what happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's where you got your Purple Heart.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He got hit as well.
Yeah.
That
my last one, a lot of them guys did their first or their second one, but my last one, we like I said, we were dealing, the IDs were heavy. We took a lot more casualties the second time than we did the first 2 times, way more. The first time we didn't take any casualties on the boat. This, initial push. The second time we took as a battalion, I want to say we took 4 or 5 KIAs. Plenty wounded, but 4 or 5. But that last one, I mean, like I said, we were losing vehicles.
Yeah.
The IDs, that's when they started using the shape charges.
Yeah.
And we only had we had a few more up armors this time. I remember the first time we had 1 up armor, and I always backtracking like something bring something up. I mean, we got ambushed, and I was in the up armor this time. We getting shot. I'm like, oh shit! You freeze for that 1 second. Like, oh wait a minute.
Yeah.
This shit, the rounds are bouncing. Oh, we're good. Let's push through. But this last deployment, they were tearing up armors apart. I'm talking about, you go back, and I got pictures. I didn't bring, but you go and you look at what these IEDs were doing. They were blowing them from the bottom. Mm-hmm. They were using shape charges. They were like freaking sable rounds. It was ripping through the armor. So we took a lot more casualties. And then, like I said, as there was a sniper. We had a sniper problem down in Karma. Sergeant Miles, and we had 2 weeks left. He was doing left seat, right seat. We were ripping out with I think it was 2-4. We were ripping out with, and the sniper got him. We were really on our way home. We were about to turn over the AO to them and get ready to pack up, and a sniper got him. So yeah, the second deployment is, and like I said, it's the things have changed. Mm-hmm. So in other words, is like I said, the first 2 times, if we seen you on a cell phone and we were coming through, we're dropping your ass.
Yeah.
If you were doing so, you were digging on the side of the road, we were dropping your ass.
Yeah.
This time is they had the what they call the PID, positive ID, and everything else.
Yeah.
And we had to do pen flares, and we took a VBID. My lieutenant, when they said when he got injured, it was with a VBID.
Mm-hmm.
And how anybody lived in that vehicle was only by the grace of God. That vehicle was completely destroyed. But it was an up armored vehicle. But it was complete. I mean, all the wheels are gone. The wheel from the vehicle that blew up went through the windshield. It wasn't even like shrapnel. It hit my platoon commander in the head in the front seat. I think if it wasn't for his size of big, he went to Wisconsin State. If he ever listened to this, he probably lieutenant. Well, he probably retired by now too. But at the time, he was a lieutenant. I know the last time I seen him, he was already a major or lieutenant colonel. But he went to Wisconsin, big wrestler, NCAA wrestler. He was a big man, and I think that's the only probably thing that saved him because the tire came through, tire in the rim, went through that windshield, hit him. So
Yeah.
But what we talking about? Yeah. So the IDs were terrible. Not much scared me. Like I said, it's those IDs, mortars, rockets. You can't see them.
Yeah.
You want to fight? We'll fight. I'll get into a fight all day, every day.
Yeah.
But those rockets, mortars, and IDs were
Later it changed. The tactics changed because they knew they couldn't. I'm pretty sure they knew that they couldn't handle it face to face as far as house to house stuff. So that's when the tactics changed because we were big on our workups were big on IEDs and stuff like that when we went in. So we had to deal with that and understand and learn how to look for them, especially because we didn't really do much of in Humvees either. We were all on foot, just about. Most of the patrols and missions that we did were majority of it was on foot.
Yeah, we tried. Like I said, we tried to do it on foot when we could.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just couldn't. But like I said, the way those IDs were rocking, and we get the intel breeze.
Yeah.
The IDs were really, really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they were putting them in animals.
Yeah.
It was bad. So
Yeah, dogs and stuff. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember. You told me this a long time ago. But
Me?
I don't know if it. Yeah, you.
Oh.
I don't know if you're the same way. But when we were talking about our deployments, there was a lot of stuff we don't remember. Like it's crazy how bad our memory is. But
it is. And I got something. So you laugh at that. Like I said, certain dates.
Yeah.
Some dates you don't really want to remember, but there's certain ones like I said, Song Spear. I remember that day like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
There's certain dates you're gonna constantly remember.
Yeah.
Because they lie within you so much. But that's 22 years.
Yeah.
Has everything in it.
yeah,
NJPs, everything.
we'll get into that.
Yeah. So
We'll get
it
into
has
that.
everything in it. So
But there was a story you talking about would come about IDs and made me remember. You said you guys were on like the back of a Humvee and you saw a dude on a scooter kick it and blow himself up because it didn't go off. Do you remember that?
I don't remember. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
You were talking about how it was supposed to hit your convoy. It didn't, and there was a guy on the distance on the scooter, and he was the person to make sure it goes off. But it didn't go off. So he went up there to go
He drove up there
to go dig it up, and he said he blew
did
himself
something
up.
to it. Yeah, and then blew himself.
And you guys had to go help him out. I was like, why would we help this guy out?
Well, I mean, that was just that one thing was to help. Because, like he was saying, during that time, it got a little more political.
yeah.
So we're kind of like police almost, but at the same time, if shit popped off, we still did our job.
You
know what I mean?
You had
But
to render aid.
yeah, we had to render aid, like he was saying, but at the same time, it got to that point because I think my last deployment there, the next year was when we were pulling everything out because remember I told you they got rid of the Iraqi fob.
Yeah.
So they were trying to pull us out. I think because we were going into Afghanistan and all that. But yeah, because it kind of reminded me of the pin flares and all those steps that we had to
flags
take.
and everything else. The
Yeah,
pin
it was
flares.
stupid.
Then you shoot the tires with an M4. Then you get machine gun to the cinder block of the engine. So basically, you had to walk it up before you can drive. And by that time, a lot of times it was gonna go boom. It was gonna boom.
Yeah, and that's one thing I told him that I didn't really like the fact because after we did that, I had to write a report on why I did it. I was like, why am I writing a report? This is what y'all told me to do. So why do I need to explain to you why I did it? And I was like, this is stupid. You know, so I left.
The first time especially when the first one with Fallujah and everything, I need ammo. It was no ammo expenditure reports, nothing like that. I need grenades.
Yeah.
Now is, hey, they give you a grenade and you use it, you better have a reason for using it. The last time I was there, if you threw a grenade, you better have the reason why. And basically, you had to write something or you wasn't getting another grenade. They wanted, where's this grenade at? You know, so this just shows how the transition went. You know, from basically the Wild Wild West to basically a police state. You know, you're out there, you're pretty much policing.
Yeah.
You're out there driving around, patrolling, and when you see something, you react to what you see.
Yeah.
I think, not to get political, but the Trump sent those bombers to Iran, right? It was Iran, right?
Yes.
And blew up the nuclear
nuclear
facility.
plants or whatever it was.
They didn't see those planes, and they were gone before the bomb hit the ground, right?
Yeah.
People don't understand, if we wasn't so kind and so, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that we are, but if we wasn't so like kind and trying to do things the right way, we could level Iraq and then send the Marines in and have no problem. Like civilian if we didn't care about civilian casualties, whatever. And again, I'm not saying that's what we should be doing, but I'm just saying they don't understand the level of hate that we could bring down on them.
And that's the thing with society. Sometimes you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Oh yeah.
And you know, even like now with law enforcement, there's a lot of times where you could have used a lot more and you didn't, and people don't realize that. Oh, even if you used a little bit of force, that was excessive.
Yeah.
Like, do you realize what I could have done?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and
Yeah,
people
they don't understand it.
That's one thing I give y'all the respect to, because I couldn't do it. I really couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't be a police officer.
It's definitely a hard job for police officers. You know, it's got to be, and like you said, and it's the same thing. People just don't understand it. They haven't been through it, so how could you understand it? You're just ignorant to what we do for a daily basis. It's just you're not living in our shoes. But but I think it's crazy, man. The first push to Fallujah, and then the side. I didn't even know that side city was a thing.
Oh yeah, Karma was a big deal. So they had a lot of you remember. So after Fallujah, you had Karma, you had Ramadi. You know, that's all considered the Blue Diamond. Blue Diamond was First Marine Division. They called it the Blue Diamond. All that was considered the Blue Diamond. All that was the Sunni Triangle. So after Fallujah, there was a lot of different skirmishes throughout and around that Sunni Triangle area, to include, like I said, Karma, Ramadi, and stuff like that, and all the routes in between. So the fighting was still there, but like I said, as we were dwindling down and transitioning, things started changing.
Yeah.
You know, they realized, okay, we don't want to fight these guys heads up. So they'll sit there and make deals. We'll live up to our end of the deal, but they won't. You know, they were still, there was now, like I said before, if I seen you digging on the side of the road, you had a sandbag next to you.
Yeah. That's it.
He was getting dropped. Yeah. Now we got to sit there. Hopefully, until we see a bomb, there's nothing you can do about it.
So I think the tactics evolved a little bit. They realized when they send somebody out there with everything, they would get smoked. So the American Sniper that movie kind of shows it. One guy will go out there and get paid to dig it. No bomb, you can't smoke them, right? And then the next guy will come out there with the bomb. That guy you can smoke, but it could be 12 hours later that you don't see and someone else doesn't know the hole's there. And then another guy, or he'll cover it up, and another guy 30 minutes later comes and covers it up. And if you don't get the guy with the bomb, you can't smoke him. So.
And that was something we seen, because I said we did a lot of stuff with HET and stuff, but we'll get to it. And then they would come by with vehicles where the floorboard was dug out, and they'd drive over the hole, and they'd drop it in the hole. Sometimes they weren't even burying them. They'd just drop it in the hole and keep going.
Wow.
And that next patrol that came by would get hit.
Yeah.
You know, so it's...
They were definitely, I'm not saying they're good people, but they were smart.
Oh, yeah.
And people thought they were just dumb people in pajamas, but for people in pajamas, they did a crazy job to do it. So
they started also doing the pressure plates. That got crazier too.
That pressure plates were real bad.
Yeah.
They were putting some big bombs.
Yeah.
With the pressure plates.
Yeah. That's crazy how they would drop. That's just evolving, just them being smart.
Yeah.
But so after you got out, my biggest thing was you said you got retired as a gunny, and then you told me what happened. So you told there's some NJPs in there.
Yeah.
What happened?
I probably should have. The track that I was on, I probably should have retired at E9. Probably. I won't lie.
Happens.
Which is unheard of in infantry. I picked up sergeant under 5 years. I picked up sergeant right at 3.5 almost 4 years. Staff sergeant right at 7. But then I was a staff sergeant for like 7.5 years before I picked up Gunny. And I finally wrote a letter to the board, that, hey, look at before and after, look what happened. So I got NJP'd as a Lance Corporal for some bullshit. I mean, Lance Corporal shit, it was bullshit. Lance Corporal got 3 of them, though. I do got 3 of them. It was some bullshit. It was old chest. If you ain't shit unless you have like 8 page 11 and 3 NJPs. My dumb ass believed it for a little while. But anyway, so get NJP'd and blah, 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 do the punishment. For some reason or the other, I still picked up corporal like fucking 4 months later. I don't know how it happened. I didn't complain. And my squad at the time, he was an asshole. And he went like, he should be picking up corporal. Like, hey, there's nothing we could do about it. He had the score. I guess they didn't do something to where, I know by the time I get over 6105, but they were page 11 when I first got in. I guess they didn't do the page 11 right or whatever, so it went through. So I got it, recovered from that. Like I said, again, pick up sergeant. I'm out there, like I said, staff sergeant. Now, it says it in there. Although successful in recruiting duty, I got NJP as a staff sergeant on recruiting duty. And that's what screwed me. Because that motherfucker, and I'm going to say it, and he can listen, Colonel Dill, JJ Dill, he was a major at the time. He said, never promote. Never promote. And I'm like, damn. It was for a vehicle accident. Again, it was political. I wasn't in the vehicle, recruiting duty, the vehicle was hit. And, just like here, you got a bunch of paperwork you got to do when your vehicle is hit. And everybody like, oh, it's not his fault. But people were doing a lot of dumb shit. They were crashing their vehicles, drinking at night, and crashing their vehicle. Their vehicle was getting stolen from the strip club. All kind of crazy shit was going on. That's how recruiting duty was. So I guess he was pissed. So he made an example. I think in one day, 11 staff NCOs got NJP'd. Off the vehicles, right. And again, learn if I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have took it. I would have said, no, take me to a court martial. Because it screwed me in the long run. Like I said, I was on the fast track. And so, long story short, he put never promote on my fit rep. And I did everything I could to get it pulled, this and that. And again, somebody with some leadership looked at it and said, it's some bullshit. And said, write a letter to the board, let them know exactly what happened. And look at before and after. Look at everything. So by this time I already got like 5 Navy comms, 2 Navy achievements, I got a Purple Heart and everything else. And like put everything in there. Sure enough, I put that letter in, I got promoted on the very next board. So just I always do to my Marines. You can step on your dick, just don't mark time on it. That's when it starts hurting.
I ain't never heard that.
That's how you tell them all the time. You can step on it, but don't mark time on it. That's when it starts hurting. I jumped off, and my third one, and like I said, that was a wake up call. That was when I hit rock bottom, and I got a DUI, and the guy was like, Gunny, what you thinking about? Not on base, now. That's out in town, former Marine. Yeah, do what you got to do, man. I fucked up, and I took it, and went back. Now, mind you, I'm with tanks now. They have 2 infantry units in the tank. They got a cat platoon and a scout platoon. They go out and do the scouting and stuff for them. And then the toes basically cover their flank. So I'm in tanks at the time. Now, mind you, the infantry guys in the tank battalion are treated like shit. If you're not a tanker, you ain't shit. So infantry guys get treated like H&S company in the infantry battalion.
Yeah.
Because the infantry guys are part of H&S in the tank battalion. So he NJP'd me. Now, mind you, one of the tanker gunnies had a DUI probably about a month or so before, and they swept it under the rug. And he told me, he's like, man, that's bullshit. I said, I'm going to use this shit.
Yeah.
He said, dude, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to let them fuck me like that. So I went, and that's after the NJP and everything else. And I went, and I came, and I appealed, and went up to the general and everything else. And the general seen it in my favor, and he overturned it.
That's good.
And I got the fuck out of tanks. I didn't spend 3 years. That's another 3-year tour. I got the hell out of tanks. So I realized, okay, for one, tanks were going away.
Yep.
Tanks were going away for one. And they treat these guys like shit. And I called my mom and I'm like, yo, it's bullshit. I know, I'm sorry I sent you there, and blah, blah, blah. She said, you want to go overseas? Shit, I'm getting ready to wind it down a little bit. You know, I'm in for about 15 years at this point. I'm getting ready to wind it down. No, yeah, 16 years at this point. I'm getting ready to wind it down. Well, we got a place at Iwakuni. What the fuck is Iwakuni? I never heard of it. So I look it up. That is the hidden secret of the Marine Corps. If you are 03 Gunny or above.
No, I ain't never heard of it.
It's Marine Corps Air Station in mainland Japan.
Okay.
I extended to retire out there.
Really?
At first, you know, me and the family went. They were crying. Within our first year there, we were not coming back to America.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, totally opposite from tanks. Because tanks did their shit on the battlefield. As an infantry guy in an air wing,
You're the man.
you are the man. And then I was in charge of base operations and training. So every unit on that base had to come through me for whether training, whether they need to range, whatever. So everybody wanted to be your friend. So it, like, it went from shit to sugar.
Yeah.
And that's when I really started the recovery process of getting better. You know, got to spend a lot of time with my family. The deployments there, we deployed. We went Thailand, Philippines, Okinawa. Like, okay, these are cool deployments, especially as a gunny.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, as a gunny, you're like, you're already a made man at that point, you know? So it's like, those deployments were good. So it gave me time. And that's when I actually really started seeking treatment. Going down and sitting with somebody on a weekly basis and getting through the process of getting myself together personally and mentally, you know, because I knew that the day was coming. It was coming to an end. And again, I retired summer with me. I retired in September, and they was like, well, you know, why don't you wait, see if you get selected? I'm like, I'm tired. I said, I have a good possibility of getting selected. That means I got to do another 3 years. I said, I'm good. And at that point, I already made up my mind. It's like, wait, let me get out. I'm gonna get out, and you know, my kids are going to college. I'm gonna spend, you know, do that. I got out. Shoot, I sat around for 9 months and got sick. And so I went to the VA and everything. I'm like, yeah, so your body. I basically shocked my body. My body used to constantly PT. Me and my buddy was here, Marine. My house was being built. I lived with him, and I may work. I tried retail, working at Polo because I wanted a discount.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it because you hear these young adults, kids, basically. I need my break. Just had a 15-minute break. Like, yo, let's get this shit done so we can go. You know, the faster we get this shit done, the faster we can move on to something else. But they complain, and I'm like, man, I can't do this shit. And then I just stopped it, and you know, me and my boy, we'll get up every morning. We'll go out to Duluth to this place called Shooters, and we'll go eat chicken wings.
Yeah.
And, sweet tea and lemonade. I'm telling you. And you know, we were watching dancers.
Yeah.
You know, looking at the dancers. You know, we did that on every day until the rest of the family came down. It was daily until the rest of the family, you know, was able to come down and, you know, school stuff started. But I got sick and realized, hey, I needed to. My body was so used to constantly going. What the hell am I going to do? You know, so I said, all right, I started looking for a job. And like I said, I tried the retail stuff. I said, I'll do some security work. I didn't really want to work. But then I realized that in the back of my mind, I have a higher calling, and it's to serve others. And that's why I got into law enforcement. At first, like, what are you thinking about, blah, blah, blah. And it was 2016 at the time, so it was really a bad time to get into law enforcement. And I was like, well, I mean, I think this is my calling to help and serve other people. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
Yeah. We talked about that on our the mental health episode of, I used to get angry at, like, when I got back, I used to get angry at people.
Yeah.
At like waiters and waitresses. How hard is it to fill my water back up when it's low? How hard is it to keep my food cold or keep my food warm? But then realizing they're not Marines. Like, they don't have that. They're just, even though I was only 22, they were just kids. Because the Marine Corps makes you grow up. Like you said, you're 30 in the Marine Corps, damn, you look near 60. You know, you look near 60 and you feel like you're 50 something. You know what I'm saying? So you got to grow up quick.
Yes. So basically, like I said, I went in at 17. At 22, I was already leading Marines.
Yeah.
At 22 years old, I was leading Marine. By the time I was 26, I was already established. I had a whole platoon.
Yeah.
When I was in SOI, we had 85 Marines as a sergeant that you were basically in charge for.
Yeah.
In charge of in your little platoon. So it's you are forced to grow up quick. Or I'm not gonna say forced. You're trained.
Yeah.
Because they instill certain things in you. And I in my office, and you probably got to know, I got two pieces of paper, and everybody, what the hell does that mean? It says Bohica and JJJ tie buckle.
Yeah.
And I tell them I live my life by 14 traits and 11 principles.
Yeah.
And that's something that instilled me. And that's how I live my life now. Bohica.
Yeah.
Bend over, here it comes again.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're gonna get fucked.
Yeah.
And I put this little thing, like my office. We moved to one place where they're not even like, hey, we're gonna move y'all up here. I'm like, dang, here we go again. So that's what I put. So those are the two papers that you're always gonna see next to my little coin display. Bohica.
Yeah.
And then the Marine Corps leadership traits.
Well, I also think that's one good thing about the Marines that they set such a high standard, and that separates us from all the other branches. They give you that responsibility at such a young age. You know what I mean? Going in there, that's what they're like you said, training you and coaching you to be a good leader, no matter what rank. Because sometimes I remember I was in charge. Somebody came from I think it was Fast Company or something like that.
I'm gonna tell you where they came from. Right down here, Kings Bay, Georgia. From it was security forces. It wasn't the Fast Company.
Yeah,
it was security forces, and because we have Marines, I got Marines all the time. They'll come back as sergeants. Now, mind you, they go out there as PFCs, and we're deployed.
Yeah,
and I have my corporal squad leader, and I used to tell him, hey, inside the wire, yeah, he's a sergeant, whatever. Outside the wire, you do everything this man tells you to do.
Yeah.
If not, it could be me and you.
Right.
And he had to understand, like, yeah, I could tell you how to do a watch standard, but this is my, he's been on a deployment array. So basically, I made them respect the rank.
Yeah.
But then I also made that sergeant respect the billet.
Right. Exactly.
And that's what it is. So you learn so much, especially in infantry. Because everybody like, why you want to be infantry? You ain't going to learn nothing. I said, the infantry teaches you so much when it comes down, not just how to shoot and everything else, but as far as leadership. Time, it teaches you everything across the board. And then and the higher up you go, especially in infantry, you become basically a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
You become, as a company gunny, I was S2, S3, S4. I was doing all the logistics for the company. So, you the more you move up is the more stuff that you learn, and people don't realize that skill that you get in the infantry. And I think that's why most of the commandants, I think all the commandants other than one, have all been infantry. I think Amos was the only one that was actually air winger. For the most part, every commandant has been from the infantry.
Yeah,
because the leadership that you learn there is surpasses everybody else. I mean, if you go back and you look at the Marine Corps, you look at admin. Admin got a gunny for this section, a gunny for that section, a staff sergeant for this section, 3 sergeants. In the infantry, you got the company gunny.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. So you're given a lot more responsibility as the infantry, in the infantry, even as a sergeant. If you look at the sergeant in the Army and the sergeant in the Marine Corps, sergeant in the Army is a squad leader, sergeant in the Marine Corps is a squad leader, sergeant in the Army is a team leader. Staff sergeants are their squad leaders, and their E7s are platoon sergeants.
Yeah.
Where our staff sergeants are our platoon sergeants, and our gunnies are, like I said, they're company gunnies.
Yeah.
And like I said, dude, gunny and sergeant are probably my 2 best ranks.
Yeah.
The asshole and then daddy.
Yeah.
Big daddy.
Yeah.
When I was a sergeant, I was piss and vinegar.
Yeah.
And then as you move up, staff sergeant, hey, this and that. And then, gunny's like, okay, you answer to one person in infantry. Yeah, even the first sergeant. First sergeant, get out, leave me alone, first sergeant. This shit ain't got nothing to do with. You got something you need Marines to do, let me know. Other than that, leave me alone. You answered to the CO, and that was it. So
that's good. Yeah. They always said, the only thing the infantry could teach you is how to be homeless. No. That's just not true. It's, I mean, you know, it goes. If I were to be homeless, though, I'd tell you what, I could survive. I would be thriving at being homeless.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't like it, but I'd be thriving. But yeah, you even though people say they're the dumbest people, the lowest ASVAB score, man.
So
fuck that.
Going back to recruiting duty, I can tell you that is 100% lie. It'd be the one that scored a 31 on a dot that says, I want to be an aviation mechanic. I'll tell him, spell it. It's statistically, the guys that score higher on the ASVABs want to be infantry. I had a guy that scored a perfect score in ASVAB. He went to Bronx Science. Bronx Science is it's a public school, but it's a school that anybody in the city can go to, but it's way up here. It's one of those, they didn't really want recruiters in it. The average SAT score is like a 1,400.
Damn.
Yeah,
wow.
So it is very, very highly. All them kids, they went to pretty much Ivy League schools.
Okay.
And the guy came in. I said, "Man, you could be." It's the first time I seen it. I said, "You can actually be an enlisted navigator on a plane on the C-130, which requires a very, very high." He said, "No, I just want to be infantry." I said, "All right, put him in infantry." So I could tell you, I seen with my own eyes, all the people that scored higher on the ASVAB pretty much wanted to be infantry. It's them guys that couldn't spell other things that wanted to be, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like, nah, you ain't got the score.
I remember that's what my recruiter told me when I said I don't want to be infantry. He's like, "You sure?"
Yeah.
I said,
scored a 63 on the ASVAB. I said, at first I wanted to be an MP, but I was too young because I was 17. You had to be 19 to be an MP. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you had to be 19 to be an MP. I don't know why.
Is that how it is still today?
Yeah, still you got to be at least 19 to be an MP.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Must be something behind it. Yeah. I waited. My recruiter was like, "Hey, you want to be you want to start jump? You want to jump out of planes and all that?" Because he knew I wanted to go infantry. He's like, "You want to jump out of planes and be with recon and all that?" And I remember talking to you, and you were like, "If you fail a special slot,
you don't go back to the infantry, boy. You will go. You
go
be a
wherever.
cook.
Yeah, you go wherever you want." So I was
they
like,
don't even send you to cook anymore, but you probably go to comm. For everybody I know that filled out of recon school, they ended up with a decent MOS, but it wasn't infantry.
Well, he kind of tricked me because it wasn't recon, but he's like, "You're gonna be with recon guys and all that." And I was like, "What do you want me? What is it?" He was like, "You're gonna be a parachute rigger."
Oh.
I said, "What is that?" He's like, "Oh, you just make sure all the parachutes are good and you jump out." I said,
That's what you do.
And I think it's because he needed that slot to be filled for that month. And I was like, "No, I just wait." I was like, "When's the next infantry contract?" He was like, 3.5 months, maybe. I'll wait. That's okay. I'll wait. He was like, no. You really want it? I was like, no, I don't. I was like, look, it's either you do this for me or I'm going to go to a different recruiter from a different city.
I put in somebody that was a parachute rigger, a female, and she liked it. But basically, you're a seamstress. You sew parachutes and you stuff them.
Nope, don't want to do that. So I waited for the infantry contract to come up, and then I had to wait about 3.5 months. And I was just in the what is it called, delayed entry program?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I have my little shirt, PT'd with them every Wednesday and Saturday or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a job. Parachute seamstress.
Bro, he made it seem like I was about to be SEAL Team 6, and I was like, "You lying
you'll be
bastard!"
Surprised. So, to being stationed overseas, I realized the type of all the different MOSs that, like, you got combat camera. You know, in the infantry, you don't got this sitting there and take a picture, but they have AFN. They have a whole broadcasting. They have radio personalities.
Okay.
They do the news and everything.
Oh, okay.
So you'd be surprised like how many different jobs there really are.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't, even as a recruiter, I didn't know combat camera. I didn't realize in combat camera that you can actually be, what do you call it? Anchor person.
Yeah.
They do weather. You know, even the weather guy. Most of them are aviation, but a lot of them they actually go out and they do the news, they tell the weather and everything else.
Who the fuck
watches
watches
my buddy was the one I got out because he went through a hard time through life, and he was heavy on drugs and stuff. So when I came back home from I think it was like a 96 or something, I finally got him back to where he needed to be, and I told him to join as well. But he did something to do with weather and balloons. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know that was a job.
And
I was like,
you
what?
Find them at most of them guys are going to be at the air station because they track the weather and everything for the pilots and everything else. It's the Marine Corps is really, really a self-contained. You can shut that place down. You'll have everything you need.
Yeah.
So but
I mean, I think if you're going to join the Marine Corps, your first thought, most people's first thought is infantry. Because that's what the Marine Corps is known for. I mean, think about all the crazy ass nicknames we got. Leatherneck, Devil. Who the fuck? from enemies. The enemies called. We didn't just name ourselves this. It was like the enemy was like, those guys are from the devils and they're like dogs.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy. We must have been really crazy. Leathernecks, because we didn't get, we had the leatherneck from the Dress Blues and all that. Yeah, it's wild, man.
Yeah.
But it's a 20 years career, or is it
22.
22 year
22
career?
total. Yep, 22 total.
Kind of can't condense it all in just a couple hours on a podcast.
No,
but
but I think we touched the highlights, and
Yeah.
and I just hope, like I said, the listeners, the biggest takeaway is like, okay, for one, NJP you can always recover.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, most people with 3 NJPs don't see fucking sergeant, let alone gun.
yeah.
You know, and then if like you said, if somebody puts the hand out and you need help, take it. And like I said, that's my biggest takeaway. Every time, and a lot of times I find out, like how you say, either through one of our groups or on Facebook, that another Marine took their life.
Yeah.
And sometimes that hurts. It may sound messed up the way I said, but I'd much rather you went out in the blaze of glory in combat
100%.
than you come home and
Right.
and you can't defeat the demons and you take your own life. So
Yeah.
that's the hope. The biggest takeaway is seek help if you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're about
No,
to
go
say
ahead.
something.
So I can say that it's funny how it all happened. Told you when I first moved down here, dude I was on recruiting duty with, and where we met at, and then we ended up being in Lejeune together. We ended up being in Japan together. Best friends to this day. When I moved down here, I was like, hey, find me an apartment. So you ain't staying in no apartment. Put me up in this house while you're being built. One of my corpsmen. I don't know, Lovelace, Doc Lovelace?
Lovelace?
He was in Easy Company.
I think so.
Look, what did I say? I talk his ass up, Doc. He's calling me right now. But
Is he?
yeah, one of the best corpsmen I ever had. I'm talking about.
Does he live in Georgia?
Yes, he lives around the street from me now.
Hit him up. Hit him up and see. Well, I'm talking about. We'll talk offline.
But yeah, we'll talk later. But he probably will. So
Yeah.
if he they called him Dumper Mac Lovelace.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a firefight, and he's like, I need ammo. Yo, Doc, how the fuck are you out of ammo? He's not wrapped too tight, but he's the real deal though.
Yeah.
He's one of the best corpsmen you'll ever know, and
Yeah.
he worked for the post office. Now I tried to get him to get into medicine or whatever, maybe he's like, nah, fuck that. I guess he's seen so much, but now if there's something wrong with you, he'll diagnose the shit out of you now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he don't have
needle,
like I said,
needle D, MPA, all of it, right then and there.
He doesn't have the bedside manner to be like a nurse or
Yeah.
because
To get that Marine in him.
he'd be
So,
like,
yeah.
ain't shit wrong with you, suck it the fuck
Yeah.
up. So
Yeah.
that's him. He crazy as fuck. But then
Devil docs.
my other boy, again, he's here, and we're together. That's what he probably call what we doing later. We had that bond for over 20 years now,
Yeah.
and it just so happened that Marine Corps didn't bring us here. It's a different thing, but now we're all here. When they found out we was moving to Georgia, and he said, "Where you guys live at?" We all kind of moved to the same area, so we're together every weekend, every other weekend.
That's good.
Yeah.
So that's what keeps us close. 'Cause we all have that common bond per
Yeah.
se.
Yeah.
We all been to the sandbox. Like I said, me and Doc were in the we were in 2-2. Me and Greg was never in 2-2, but he's been there. He's been there out there when he was attached to the Army and to an Iraqi team. So we all seen different aspects. My other guy, we call him Ninja, but he was there as a little, although he didn't actually see combat, but he was out there. So we all have that common bond of being Marines, and then and every now and then you're like, it's funny because he says things kick in, and then me and Ninja, we're both gunnies. Greg was a staff sergeant, and Doc was Doc.
Yeah.
Shit, what rank you are, you're Doc.
Yeah.
So and he's like, all right, Gunny. Every now and then, I'd be like, yo, what the, you start cussing his ass, like, all right, Gunny, whatever. And and then even as a friend, I remember one day, it just showed how tight we are. Now, mind you, I'm a staff sergeant, and he was an E4 at the time, third class, and he showed up late and fucked up, and everybody knew we fucking hung out outside of work. And but basically from back in New York days, so I laid into his ass so fucking bad, and he came by like, I said, if you ever have to make me do that shit again, me and you, it's done. I said, you being my friend, you should never have to make me do that. So he's like, I know I fucked up, and I said I had to prove a point because if I didn't do you, and if I let you slide, everybody else. And I do the same thing to this day. Even
You gotta hold
the
the standard. Yeah.
You gotta hold up. Whether we could be best friends, but I'm gonna hold you accountable.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's not personal. It's just business.
It's business. That's it.
Right.
It's business. So,
Yeah.
but that goes back to saying is like, okay, that camaraderie. For some people, they go back home to their hometowns and they're missing that camaraderie because everybody else that you left, you went back to, they're doing the same shit that they were doing before you left, and now you have nobody you can relate to.
Yeah.
I was talking to a guy, old school guy. I think he was Army or something. He said, being in the military, we could sit here and we could talk shit about some of the crazy things we've done, and people would look in on us like, oh, these motherfuckers is crazy. That shit would be normal to us.
Yeah.
So it's hard for you to relate to other people
Yeah.
who haven't been through the same thing or close to the same thing that you've been through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could be something just as easy as boot camp. It doesn't have to be combat. It could be just something as easy as boot camp. So
Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from boot camp. I mean, do you think that we said it before, but as infantry Marines, it was like boot camp was the easiest thing we done in the Marine Corps.
no. Let me tell you something. I've been to Paris Island twice.
Back then, maybe different.
Been to Paris
Oh yeah,
Island
back
twice.
then they were probably stuffing people in jars.
I did been to Paris Island twice. Once when I went through boot camp, and I stopped by once when I retired. I said I didn't want to be a fucking drill instructor. I didn't want to step foot back on that island. and that was hard. Like I said, we went, and my mother was actually the other day. She was telling the story. We were down there. I told you I went to Camp Lejeune last week, and mother was telling. She said we went down there, and back then when you got dropped, they took your shit. The rack was empty. Mother asked me, what happened to all these empty racks? She's like, oh, they didn't hack it. We got rid of them. And I'm telling you, that was still where you're standing in formation at Port Arms. You're not right, fucking drunk. Wham.
Oh damn.
Busted your shit. You got blood dripping. I dare you to fucking wipe it. You killed my sand fleet, get that motherfucker proper Marine Corps burial.
Yeah.
We played the games now.
Oh yeah.
We played the games in the boot
Yeah,
camp.
maybe it was a little.
I mean,
It's different now,
There was no time on the quarterdeck.
No, yeah.
We got only seniors could thrash you this long. City Gary. They left fucking Durfee. He was the kill hat, and they left him there with us one day. He killed the shit out of us. Senior Georgia came back and said, "What the fuck?" He sent them home. We had shit to do. The squad was fucked up. We had Mount Suribachi, basically all the mattresses in the middle of the squad, all our uniforms. We played games at boot camp.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been back twice.
Yeah.
Not going back.
When I first went, when I retired, I stopped in that motherfucker. I went, looked at the yellow footprints, went back to the hotel company. All right, get me off this fucking island.
We need to make a trip, man. I would like to go back. Just to
I mean,
visit.
it wouldn't be bad, but from what I hear, it's changed.
For sure.
It's
Yeah.
changed a lot. I mean, of course, times, society is different.
The barracks ain't changed. I guarantee you
No,
that.
the barracks I don't believe it's changed. Now,
the same ones before Gunny's guns.
Lejeune has.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
Lejeune.
Gagger
said
has,
that.
because I went by Lejeune. Gagger's infantry barracks haven't changed. I haven't seen the MCT side, but the infantry barracks haven't changed.
Yeah.
Lejeune is different. She
Yeah.
got a highway running through it and everything. It's totally different.
A highway. Like a civilian highway?
No.
Oh.
I'm talking about a highway. If you know how before, if you want to go to Sneeze Ferry, you take the back road. You got a highway that basically run from one side of the base to the back side of the base. You still got to go through the gate and everything to get on it.
Oh.
But
I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 2019. I think it's the same. Was it 4 lanes? 2 on one side, 2 on the other.
yeah.
With
Somebody
the grass,
say so. You was there for
grass-
that.
Yeah.
That shit surprised the hell out
But
of me.
we still stayed in the old moldy ass barracks.
Mm-hmm.
But they were building new barracks.
On F Street.
Yeah, and some people were still getting them. We got the new gym, the big gym with the basketball goals and all that, and then there was a new chow hall being built. They're definitely improving it, but when I was in, we're still. I mean, they're probably still up. Some of them are.
Yeah.
But it's those old ass moldy barracks.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you, it helps you build character. My son's in the Air Force, and I remember when I went to his boot camp, I'm like, what the fuck? And then when he was stationed out in Arizona, now mind you, he's an E1 in Arizona, and I'm bringing him his car, so I'm gonna drive your car out to you, whatever. I drive his car. I get there, it's him and 2 other E1s.
In one room.
Hell no, one fucking apartment.
Oh yeah.
His room, his personal room was bigger than this.
Yeah.
And had his own bathroom. They shared a counter. They had a living room, a kitchen. Each one of them had their own room that was bigger than this.
Yeah, dude.
They got an apartment?
They got a kitchen. they
It's
got
a barrack, but
bathroom.
it's a 3-bedroom apartment inside the barracks.
Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
Yeah.
I should have went to the Air Force.
Nice. Nah,
Hey,
fuck that.
you know what? I would say I would never do it again. As if I ever did it again, I would still want to be in the Marine Corps. But for a better quality of life, I would have definitely went to the Air Force. Definitely.
Gunny, it's been a fucking pleasure, brother.
It's been a pleasure. I'm sorry, emotions sometimes kick in, but
No, you're fine.
some people need to see it, but
If you see
go watch the there's the Memorial Day podcast.
Yeah. That was
I'll
rough.
kind of spill the beans on it a little bit, but we both got emotional on it, and we were debating whether to cut it out or not. I
hope
I
you
was,
didn't.
and I, no,
No,
I
we
was telling
didn't.
my brother, I was like, look, there's some people need to see this. They need to see that it's real, and we can't just cut it out. The whole point of this podcast is to be raw, no political, nothing like that. The raw stories, and that's what they need to see. So
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that, brother. I'm glad. I mean, to me, it means you're still human.
Oh, yeah.
It means you still care
Yeah.
about them, but. Yeah, it's the Memorial Day podcast. Yeah, it's that was a tough one for both of us. So.
Yeah, it was. I thought I could say what I needed to say without doing it, but
Say
then it
what you
just hit
need
me.
to say.
You know, so
It's
yeah.
and then obviously I'm the younger brother, so seeing a role model of mine,
you look older though.
Do I?
Dang, I look
Well,
that
yes.
young.
I thought you were the younger brother. Actually, honestly,
No, 9 years apart.
Hey,
what?
I got
Yeah.
some good genes.
He's
huh?
got more Korean in him, I guess.
Yeah, that more Asian.
Wait until he
Asian.
hits 42. It's gonna
I know.
just like that. Korean people, bro, they look young, and then it hits like 42, 73.
Bro, that's like
That's
3
how it
years.
goes.
3 years from now, I'll be 42.
But yeah, Gunny, it's been a pleasure, brother. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
First push into Fallujah must be crazy. I know there's multiple other battles, Ramadi and Marja, but
Baghdad.
Fallujah, Baghdad. But Fallujah was one of our deadliest battles. At some point, they took fucking grenades away from Marines because we were fucking throwing too many grenades or whatever. But it's crazy to have the chance to talk to you that someone's been through it.
Yeah,
And
most
being wounded
definitely.
in action. And I know that the Purple Heart, most people's like, I don't give a fuck about the medal, but it's still crazy to talk to somebody that has one and what you went through and talking about someone that was there and the battles that you went to, and especially a retired Marine. I'm almost slightly jealous because I told myself if I ever stayed in another 4 years, I was going to retire because the life has got to be great.
Yeah.
So
Hey, if you do my motto, if you do 8, you might as well do 20. I told my son now he coming up on 8 years. What you gonna do? He said, well, he's in Italy. He's like, oh, I'm thinking about extending out here. I said, yeah, I bet you are.
But like, yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Do you have anything else for us? Anything
No,
else
I
for the
appreciate you guys
audience,
having
man?
me. Keep it up, and shit. I would love to come back again another day. We talk
Part
about
2?
something else, man.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
with
we
it.
can. Yeah, most definitely.
I'm fucking, yeah, we can make that happen.
Like I said, 22 years. I mean,
Might see if we can get
it's
Lovelace
been-
on that
It's been
thing.
about almost 2 hours. Like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot to sum up 22 years in 2
Yeah.
hours. But
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
we talked about the combat, but there's a lot of other times in between.
Yes.
The non-deployment time, some of the there's a lot of good times.
Oh, yeah,
a
most
whole lot of
definitely,
good
yeah.
times too. So
We're definitely. If you want to come back on, we'll definitely have you back. No problem.
sounds good.
You know where we're at now, and we are in contact just almost every other day. So
Yeah.
we'll keep it that way, and we'll maybe open up that thick ass little. That's crazy. That's 22 years. It looks small, like you would expect.
no,
but-
yeah.
Mine
But
ain't that
shit,
thick.
yeah, mine's like 6 pages, But Gunny, we appreciate it, brother. For those of you guys that are watching, thank you guys so much for the support. Don't forget, we have our giveaway still on the EAS mental health episode. Bring awareness to that. Like and subscribe and comment hashtag E4 Mafia in that video. If you want to check us out on TikTok and Instagram, we have our links down below. When you guys are seeing this, just make sure that you guys are paying attention and just it's amazing to sit here and talk to people like this and interview them and get their stories. So we appreciate you guys. Again, Gunnery Sergeant Gomes.
Appreciate you.
I'm Alan.
Mike.
Thank you guys for watching.